Details of this next story really disturbing here. A former teacher out of Livingston Parish is being investigated for bringing baked goods to a school that were contaminated with bodily fluids. This is according to our partners at WBRZ. They also say that this investigation is connected to a case involving sex with children, and it involves the two people on your screen right now. Cynthia Perkins was arrested nearly 2 weeks ago with her husband, Dennis Perkins, who, by the way, is a Livingston Parish Sheriff's deputy.
It's an alarming case for sure. This all started in December of 2019 when these two individuals, a deputy in Livingston Parish and his teacher wife, who was a middle school teacher, got caught by Adobe. They were photoshopping things. Adobe turned them into authorities in Louisiana, which launched an investigation. Authorities with the Attorney General's office showed up at the couple's house. They found this safe full of hard drives, computers, thumb drives, things like that. And all of it was encrypted with a software called Keep My Data Safe. And so essentially they had to come in and decode everything. And when they decoded everything, they were alarmed at what they saw. They saw child porn, they saw child rape. They also saw what appeared to be this deputy who was ejaculating on sweets that were then being served to his wife's class. So according to the court documents that we have, the kids that were served the sweets were definitely students in her class. They photoshopped apparently the kids' photos and they had pictures of the children eating the sweets, the cupcakes that he had ejaculated on. In terms of the actual victims that were raped by these individuals, we're told that they possibly were some of their close associates or people that they knew. So she divorced him, and if it gives you any indication of what their plan of attack is, they immediately filed for divorce. She actually just struck a plea deal with some of the prosecutors here. So she now has to testify against him at trial, and she has agreed to do that in exchange for what some people in this area are calling a light sentence. She'll probably do about 40 years and will probably be eligible for good time, so maybe 20 years. So we'll see what happens. What's really interesting about this case is these are the people that you teach your children to trust. You teach your children to trust law enforcement. You teach them to trust their teacher and to think that they could do something as sick and twisted as this. I mean, it really just has this whole community in utter shock.
That's absolutely correct. We were really prepared for at least a 2-week trial, but at the last minute, there was a plea deal that spared the victims the trauma of going into court. While Perkins accepts guilt, she will spend the next 4 decades behind bars.
Well, we didn't really offer him a plea deal. What happened was we were contacted by the defense. They made an offer. And at that point, we considered it, and after some tinkering, we were able to come to an agreement that was accepted.
You talked about the victims, too. How disturbing would this evidence be to come into a courtroom?
I mean, not just for the victims, but for the jurors who would have had to watch it. It would have been very disturbing. And that's why we're so happy that we were able to achieve what we did today without going through that.
Is this the worst evidence you've ever seen?
Personally, yes.